Hello and good morning, everyone. Depending on what time of the day that you're watching this, I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I have been busy like brainstorming because I really wanted to change this channel to something that is still about trading, still about crypto trading, but also insert like the mental and the psychology that is probably a bigger part of trading than just the technical analysis part of it. Because if even though you could know all the technical analysis, but if your mindset is in fear mode or um, intimidation mode, then you're not gonna you're not going to take the trades, or you're going to react to trading in a manner that is going to cause you to self-sabotage. Okay, so the name of the channel is called The Currency Rebel, and it's basically where we want to break low frequency beliefs about money, which includes trading, because trading is surrounded about money, like one trade at a time. So before each trade analysis, I will connect it to the psychology of it, right? Or the mental aspect or the mindset aspect of trading that will cause someone to be successful one trade at a time. Okay. So today's belief or low frequency belief that a lot of people have, and this is definitely to trading, is that trading is gambling. But I want to let you think about something. Everything you do is gambling. Anything that you do, you're taking a gamble. It's just a matter of, do you feel comfortable with that gamble or not, right? So, and do you have any type of risk management with that gamble? Or are you just being reckless? So gambling, trading can be gambling. Just like being in a relationship could be gambling, because you could be reckless, right? Or, and not understand where you're going, right? It can turn into something very reckless. And you can do that with trading as well, or anything else in life, right? I love the quote in regards to trading and money. I love the quote from Rockefeller. It says, "The way to make money is to buy when blood is running the streets," right? And usually that's where the money is really made, is when everybody's in fear mode and they're basically the people who are not operating in fear mode are the winners, basically. That's what this quote means to me. So in the example for the trade today, you're going to see how I love it when there is a sell-off, because I do a lot of long trades, which means I buy low and sell high. And so you got to learn how to not panic, but actually like it going low, because that's where the money is. When you buy in a demand area and then you wait for the bounce, it gives you a nice setup. You check your your stop loss, which is risk management. Is it below the rule that you have set for yourself? For me, definitely, I would say 2% and below. Max is 3%, depending on what type of gains are we talking about, potentially against the gains, right? So let's get into the trade for last week and then where we are today. So this is Swift USD, and so like I was saying, I always do my parallel trend line. Let me go up to the higher so you can see it. Okay. Do not get So it's just showing this. So don't get too bothered by everything else that's going on, because this is stuff that's going on right now. But I'm going over this trade right here, this leg right here. But it's still in a downward trend. So I was waiting for it to hit this bottom trend line, as well as this demand area in blue, right? This demand area came from here. There was a spike. And then if I go further left, here, there was a spike, right? So that's where that demand came in again. So where it did before, there's a likelihood that it's going to do it again, right? So, but it may not go as high as it did before. So because we're still in this downward trend, but my resistance area is this line. So that's the highest I'm thinking it's probably going to go. So if I go down to a lower time frame, yeah, here we go. All right, so it came down to this area. It made a bounce, right? Made a breaker structure. I put my little line there. I usually also put an alert there. This is nothing but a trend line, and you put, I don't know if you can see it, but like when I click on it, it has this like little angle symbol. You see the lock, and then you see the angle symbol that is highlighted in white. Basically, I hit lock, I hit angle, and if you want to put breaker structure, you go into the text, put BOS, make it a template if you want to. I've already done it. If you didn't have it as a template, hit save as, right? And then you can put an alert. So you tap on it right here, and then you can put an alert. I don't need to do that right now. But the other thing, this blue line that you might see right here, that's going all the way across, is from, like I said, I don't use indicators, but I do use support, resistance, trend lines, and patterns in demand or resistance area. And one support and resistance thing is Asia highs and lows. So this blue line, if I were to, this the only really indicator I use is, I don't have to use it, because the only thing I have to do is just know when Asia is starting and when Asia finished, and then like put a line above where it is high and it's low. But the quicker way to do that, and it was from this Asia low, which is very close to this breaker structure, right? So that was also, we'll put alerts on that low, right? Because I want to see it. Basically, what it's doing is people have stops below here. And so they're going to come in and take those stops and then go back up and start heading back up, right? Because we are in a demand zone. We're in a support area. We're at the bottom of the parallel trend, right? So it's like all these good combination of good entry to a trade, okay? So I can take that off. And so I'll sometimes just go through and line those out. But anyway, so basically we'll stand on this trend line, and I didn't know, but I was suspecting that it was going to, let me get rid of this because it's for something else. This trend line right here, which is coming from the overall parallel trend line, I was expecting it to hit this, but I also had already drawn out my Asia highs and lows. And so I knew it probably was going to take out these three because these are the closest to this upper trend line. So I actually came out right here. So, and even though it did come up higher, but I'm okay with that, right? Because that was 18%. So that's how that trade worked. And I think that was Wednesday. Yeah. So that was Wednesday of last week. So, and there have been like little moments like between the 50% levels, right? And then I think the last one that I took was right between here, which was not that much. It was like 4%. So I knew it was probably going to hit this 50% level as a resistance. So now this is where we are right now. So this was a previous demand area, right? But I'm thinking that it's probably going to bypass this and try to capture the stocks below this area. And this is a Asia low line. Let me highlight it so you can see what I'm talking about. If it'll allow me. Okay, so I highlight it in a lighter blue. And I can see that because I used that indicator to show me, or the tool, it's not really an indicator, it's a tool that shows you what time each market starts and ends, right? So I knew that I know this is Asia's low. So I have an alert on this line. I also have an alert on these breaker structures that previously happened. So when it crosses this price point, it's already crossed this one. I'm hoping that it goes across this one as well. But if it doesn't, if it decides to use this demand area right here, because London is either going to try to take out this high or this low from Asia. London and New York, basically, because they're pretty much like back to back, right? Like London starts at 4 a.m. New York starts at 9, so it's 8:12. Hasn't started yet, or 9:30. So usually I'll put like an alarm on my clock to say when, like round about 9 o'clock, so I can just kind of prepare. But I also still have these alerts. I have an alert above this high right here before it broke out of this trend line right here. So I have one right there, just in case if it bounces off of here and comes up to here, like if it does something different than what I expected to do. I can be alerted, right? But I'm really hoping that it comes in like sweeps. Take out these lows from Asia, right? Which will also take out Asia, New York, and London. It'll take out everybody if it were to come down here and take out this low. And then I'll see if it's just gonna like do like a little peak, start bouncing up. I'll create a breaker structure line with an alert to see, are we coming down here to take out this, or are we going to come down further, right? So that is the strategy for right now. If it were to, so I can take that off. If it were to break below here, it's probably heading towards this 50% and take out this one, and it might even come to this area. So which is good because the lower it drops, the more gains when it's going back up. All right. So, but that is where I'm at. I'm also looking, I try not to look at, even though I have a long list of coins to look at, I mean, that I can choose from, I'm not necessarily looking at all these coins. So, which boils down to a question that one of the, was in the comments is, which coins do I recommend? And I actually do not recommend coins. I can tell you what I do. I don't, and I probably should have clarified his question. As far as trading, I create my list based off of not like that I really know a whole lot about the coins. I just know that they're on Coinbase. Coinbase usually take different coins through different criteria before they can even get on Coinbase. And then from there, I just look at like what they've done in the past. Like, did they make very good big runs? And so I do a little screener, but that's a whole nother video. But once I've created that list, I pretty much work off of that list from there. I don't have to keep doing a screener. I kind of work off of that list and then put alerts on ones that like is making really good moves on a frequent basis. And then I just take it from there. As far as long term, for me, I would say definitely Bitcoin. I mean, like that would be for sure. And then maybe XRP for long term, but investment. But that to me is different from like day trading, right? Day trading, I really could care less about long term or anything like that. I'm trying to see what gains can I get this week from that coin. Like the coin could be like on its way to zero, but it's making highs as it's making its way down, right? And I might be catching it, right? So that's all I really care about is to get in and get out, right? With the least amount of risk. That is the name of the game for when I select coins for trading, and then for long term is what I see as a investment long term. Like Bitcoin, I don't think that would be something that I would recommend selling. Like I'm not saying like don't trade it. You can trade it, but like I'm trading it to get more Bitcoins. Like that's how I treat the Bitcoin account. Is I'm trading it to get more Bitcoins. I'm not trading it to cash out because I believe that Bitcoin will be a asset that you can borrow against, right? And that's a whole nother video as far as like using assets to pay for your liabilities and versus using trading assets for cash, which is a depreciating item, inflationary item, and then letting the cash pay for your liabilities, which is highly costly than letting assets pay for your liabilities. And that was that's a whole nother video, and I think that's a good video to do. And that's why I said like the currency rebel is basically rebelling against old low frequency beliefs on money that has kept me, I can say personally me, in either a struggle mode, lack mode, in bad positions financially, and I'm just being honest. And I think it's done it for a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, right? Like it has done it. And So, but those are the things I want to go over as we go over trades, because there is a psychology that's happening along with trading, along with making money in any arena. So, and but that would do it for today. I hope you guys have a great one. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments, and I will be more than happy to help you. Have a good one.